Chapter 1. Oh, you're awake. Scientists refer to the ocean environment as inner space. In this way, exploration of the sea or its depths is inner space exploration. We all know that outer space is that which is beyond Earth's atmosphere or gravitational pull. It is of otherworldly. Both realms invite study and encompass mysteries. In both cases, we are eager to go there. But what about inside us, that which makes us who we are? Could that be called interior space? Space is defined as boundless or intermittently infinite. So, by definition, our interior space is the function of our brain. The energy produced by this organ engenders our mind, all of our thoughts, our emotions, and impels us to any and all action. Some spark occurs and we think of more, or move. That spark is an exchange of neurotransmitters at a junction between neurons called a synapse. A spark or series of sparks happen when we blink our eyes, or cough, or wave, or say, "I love you." When we say those words, something stirs inside us too, and we feel a shudder through our nervous or limbic system. Maybe a tightening of our stomach muscles or a fluttering in the stomach. This happens instantaneously, and you don't do it, you don't will it, the action just occurs. That's an emotion, or it might be a reaction if a loved one says, "I love you," first. The brain and the mind are intertwined, but stuff happens first in the brain. Scientists agree on that. At least for the most part they do. Some chemical is emitted or some energy is created in the network of nerves in the brain matter. We move, react, speak, blink. We snap into being who we are. A neuropsychologist said to me simply, "The brain affects everything." I had truly never thought about that until I was 44 years old and I woke up. My term for regaining consciousness after almost 3 weeks of nothingness, except some incredibly vivid dreams, mainly of water and water scenes such as fishing. I grew up on a lake and I love to fish and have spent much of my career producing fishing magazines. These images were safe and familiar to me, or they were to my brain. These memories reside in my long-term memory bank, stored and awaiting recall whenever needed. I needed them in the summer of 2012, as I wasn't laying down new memories. My brain wasn't capturing any. Therefore, I have no memory from the afternoon of August 14th until approximately sometime on September 3rd of that same year. I remember noticing movement up in a maple tree as I sat at my desk in my home office. Nothing unusual, maybe it was a gray squirrel or a bird fluttering. I looked closer, and it was a cat, our small black house cat that had snuck out of the house, had been outside for days. It was Tuesday, August 14th. I do remember that. And I had been immersed in work, distracted by reading and reviewing email when I noticed the cat. I couldn't believe it was up the tree in plain view through the window proximate to my desk. I was sure it had been eaten, a healthy morsel for a coyote or a fox or a fisher cat. I had to do something, and remembered the extinction ladder. It may have been already outside. This would only take a minute, and my wife, the cat person in our family, would be so relieved that the cat was home and okay. This was the cat my wife had trapped when it was a kitten in a neighbor's barn, and she nurtured it until a reluctant house cat. Shortly after her previous cat of 18 years had died, I wanted my wife to thank me and to view me in a heroic way, something of a savior. I remember a deep exhale, a kind of, oh shit, I guess I have to, feeling of resignation. What came next? The doctors stopped calling it a coma. Through my medical records, say I was put into a medically induced coma for a short while, and now refer to it as a post-traumatic amnesia. Apparently, it was interacting with doctors and walking and pulling out IV tubes. I was complaining